Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Brilliance Business. I'm Mark Stephen Pooler, conversations with leading experts in business. Hope you're having an incredible day, and we have a wonderful guest for you today. Before I get started, I just want to make a shout out to our official main sponsor, Craig Shelley, Beverly Hills Luxury Watches and Fine Jewellery at craigshelley.com. So we have a wonderful guest today, Alka Sharma. Alka is CEO and founder of alkastotalfitness.com. She is also the author of the book From Cocoon to CEO, Living the Life of Your Dreams. We will be hearing lots more about that later on in the show. So let's get started. Welcome, Alka. Great to have you here.
Thank you, Mark. It's such an honor to be on your show.
Well, I'm honoured to have you as my guest today, Alka, and I'm got lots to talk about with you today. And you have such an incredible career. We have built a friendship. We have worked together on lots of projects. So I'm really looking forward to digging deep into your story. I always like to start at the beginning. I want to hear about the past, the obstacles that you have faced, what have got you to where you are today, Alka.
Absolutely. I mean, when we talk about the future, and when we talk about living the life of your dreams, and I'm actually living the life of my dreams, but I would not be in the place where I am today as a founder, CEO of my business. It would not have been possible because our future is dictated by our past. And as much as we want to, and we have to be grateful for that, because being grateful for every moment, being grateful for every milestone, every stepping stone that you are facing in your life is a step forward to creating the life of your dreams. So my past is no different from any others. And, I struggled with weight, self-confidence, self-esteem issues. And that was with me for a very long time. I was bullied at school. And yet I found a place. And Mark, I always like to mention that when we are struggling, when we are facing with any kind of roadblocks that comes in our way, there comes a moment when we have to say enough is enough. And it takes a strong person. It takes someone who can own up to the fact that, this is not how I want to live my life every single day. And so that happened earlier in my childhood. And then in my marriage, it's kind of, fell apart. It broke apart, but that really broke my heart, as it would for anyone. But it was more than that. It became deeper than that. I was abandoned in the relationship. I was isolated from everyone in the family. But what did I do? I chose the three main words that I'm going to say to your viewers is to have the hope, the courage, the determination to be who you are, to be where you want to be where you want to go, so that you have the freedom of choice that no one can ever dictate upon you. And that is what I want to share with your viewers.
So I relate to a lot of that, Alka. I myself was bullied, and I know that can be really damaging as a child, and it does take a lot of self-work and self-improvement to get over those obstacles. Also, I know abandonment, a lot of people do struggle with the fear of being abandoned, and that is also a really difficult thing to overcome. And a lot of it does stem from childhood as well. And we have to do a lot of self work and digging deep to really overcome those issues. So, can you just share with us some of the steps you took to deal with those bullying issues and also being abandoned? What really saved you? How did you move out of that?
So so earlier on, when I was, in my late teens, the bullying just kept happening every single day of my life when I would be at school and, I'll come home. That was actually the darkest part of my life that I just never want to sort of ever look back or ever talk about. But because, it was something that was very traumatic. But when you are faced with those situations, there's only ever one way, and that is to say that, okay, enough is enough. I want to move on. I want to get out of a relationship. I want to get out of, not being bullied. So the steps that I took was to go to the principal and say what was happening, because for a very long time, for the good maybe 2 years, nobody knew. I did not tell my parents. I didn't tell anyone what was happening to me. But then there comes a time when we all have to step up and say enough is enough. And the same things would happen with any adversities or challenges or roadblocks that come your way when you feel abandoned, when you feel isolated in a family. That was the most horrific part of my life, because I never thought it was possible that it could happen to me, but it happened. And so what do? We don't crumble or die internally. If we have a goal, if we have the life that we want to lead for our dreams, our dream life, well, the dream life can only happen if you are willing and able to take those steps, to have the hope that internally you are worth it. You have the self-worth. And so for me, it was so much easier because I knew that there was so much better for me out there, that there was so much better for me to actually be on the mission, to be and have my purpose, to save other women, other people who may be struggling with the same situations that I didn't want them to face. So for me, I am so happy that I am able today, Mark, to be able to share to your viewers that it is possible. You only have to see it in you, that you have the possibility.
Beautifully said, Alka. And it takes time to heal from these things. But as you mentioned in the beginning, forgiveness as well, and you do have to forgive yourself and you have to forgive others in order to move forwards. And it's really, really humbling of you to share some of those difficulties, because they're not always easy to talk about when you have been abandoned or you've got bullying, because I know that firsthand. It's hard to share at first, but I like that you have taken your past and now you're using that to help and support and serve others, which is an incredible thing to do. So tell us about the journey into fitness. What was behind that, and tell us about that, the steps that you took into fitness.
So the steps that I took into the fitness journey, so how my fitness journey began, was pretty much based off of my story, my own personal journey that I faced. I struggled with the weight challenges for a very long time. I absolutely hated physically how I looked. And the self-confidence, self-esteem issues also, played a major part in my life. And so with those in mind, I knew that there was something more for me to learn and how I could have more fun and change my life around. So as I began to, for the first time, I actually stumbled into a gym. And that first time was like, oh my God, a part of me said, Mark, I almost like turned around and went back, because I said that there were all these fit body people that I could not fit in. Then a part of me said, Alka, wait a minute, didn't you say you wanted to change your life around? So I listened to that, and from that day on, I began loving fitness so much that it became a part of my life. I was reaching my goals. I was gaining the confidence, and everything was looking beautiful. So fast forward to today, my journey of fitness began to really involve as I began to find other areas of physicality, of fitness. What that would really do to me, and what that can do to your viewers, is to know that find an exercise, find a workout that truly is aligned with you. And for me, that opened to the world of Latin and ballroom dancing. So dancing then became a huge part of my life. It was so amazing, so bigger than I am today, that it was so fulfilling. And I've been competing for the past 8 years. And through dancing and then fitness, I opened my own studio.
So what I would say about that, Alka, it's great that you found fitness. I know myself, I joined a gym, went once, and joined
that's
up
no
to
good.
I joined up to the annual payment, how you pay monthly, and I never went back. I do exercise. I take my dog on long walks because it's so important to get those endorphins going. But also, like you, from the age of 9 to 15, I also did dancing as well, Alka. I did Latin American like you. I really found that really, because I was getting bullied, that really built my confidence, and I feel it adds to why I'm so ambitious and persistent now. Like, I never give up, because I used to do a lot of competitions and I never used to win, but I used to carry on doing the competitions, and I really felt that really supported me through my bullying. And also it really has given me those skills of why I'm so persistent in business now. Do you find that, Alka?
I do. First of all, Mark, I do have to say, I did not know that about you, but that's so great that, dance is one of those workouts that truly hones into who you are, and it truly opens you up. And once it opens you up to knowing that you're learning a skill, and for the only workout that I didn't like, actually, when it came to Latin dancing, was the foxtrot, because that is the most technical out of all dances. But yes, to answer your question, is dance truly does open you up to really, be the person you are, be a better person, whether, on the personal level, to be in the business, you're more dedicated, you're more out there, you're hustling, you're grinding to making everything work for you. So it's truly quite amazing what, dance truly can do for you, building your self-confidence. And for me, that was a major part, that once I began competing, the first time that I competed was in 2004, but it truly was amazing. And since then, and then after that, 2015 was my last competition, but it truly was amazing how self-confidence really shines. You begin to shine.
I agree. I think self-confidence is a big one that dance does really support. Now, you have been on a journey of self-improvement. You found fitness, which has really transformed your business, your life. It's what you are all about. What other rituals do you stick to for self-improvement and personal development? For example, for me, meditation, visualization, gratitude are really important. A little bit of exercise, watching what I eat, drinking clean water. Those are my things that are really important so that I function to my best. What is important to you?
Exactly. And, what is important for us is we need to make sure that what is important, it needs to become habitual. And the first time you do it, it may be hard at first, but then it's going to become natural. It's going to be gradual. So for me, I wake up at 5, and the moment I wake up, I'm writing my gratitude journal. Because why the gratitude journal is so important, because we need to write down everything we are grateful for, because what you're not grateful, it can easily be taken away. So always be mindful to be grateful for everything that you are, and everything that you are becoming, and everything that you are having to making you a better person each and every day. So gratitude journal is most important. Then I write down my goals, what I'm focusing on, and for the next 3 years, what is my game plan? Because a ship without a compass is going to go nowhere. So you have to be mindful. You have to set goals on a personal level, who you are becoming, but most importantly, have a game plan so that you have a benchmark that you are hitting each and every time. So that is sure. I write down my gratitude journal, I write down my goals, and then I do visualization that really grounds me. And that is the key, is when you feel grounded, you are then really open to achieving, to really welcoming other opportunities to you.
I agree, and I think the more you are grateful and you do your gratitudes, more and more things come in your life to be grateful of. It just makes you feel so much better. I have really enjoyed the first part of the show, Alka. We're going to a commercial break. Alka has shared her personal journey of bullying, being abandoned, obstacles she has overcome, her journey into fitness. Join us after the commercial break for more great conversation. Welcome back to Brilliance Business. We're here with founder and CEO of Alka's TotalFitness.com. Alka, welcome back to the show. Alka
Thank you.
been sharing all of her personal journey, obstacles she's overcome, her journey into fitness. Now, I want to talk, Alka, about Alka's Total Fitness. Tell us all about it.
So Alkas Total Fitness is a boutique lifestyle fitness studio, and the studio pretty much, it was the vision that came in my dream that I wanted to really inspire other women to really take control of their health and fitness. So our health is our number one priority that we must never take for granted. So as my journey began, when I was struggling with weight challenges and self-confidence, self-esteem, the first time that I walked into a gym, it was pretty daunting because physically I was so ashamed of how I looked that I didn't feel comfortable being around these fit body people. So Alka's Total Fitness truly gave birth when I realized that there was more to me, that I had this mission, I had a purpose, that I wanted other people to really, other women to claim that it's not about your shape, your size. Instead, we welcome you. The studio was built because I wanted it to be a safe place, a place that women, it doesn't matter your shape, your size, that you are welcomed, you are loved, and we embrace you for the individual, for the person you are. So the studio was built to be a non-judgmental zone. And I am so super proud because me and my team are so dedicated to helping you find your fitness, your plan, that we have to build a customized plan for you that, you don't have to second guess. We have everything worked out for you. We customize your workout plans, and we make sure that you feel comfortable, because I didn't feel comfortable the first time I walked into a gym. So Alka's Total Fitness is a non-judgmental studio, is a boutique studio with smaller class size, but we are big on results.
I hear you. Self-esteem, lack of confidence, and for some people even going to a gym is a scary process, Alka. And where is your studio based?
So the studio is based in Canada, in Thornhill, and the address is 7163 Yonge Street. We are going to be having online classes starting very soon. In the next 2 weeks, we will be restarting our online classes. So would love to, give you more information later in the show.
We definitely will do that. Now, there are people over the last year, I reckon, like myself, diet has probably not been as good as it should have been, because we've been in a global pandemic, we've been locked down, and our habits have all changed a little bit, not knowing what's coming next. So my question would be, for people interested in improving their health and fitness, can you just share 5 of your tips of how people can make steps to that in the right direction, Alka?
It's very, very, as I mentioned earlier on, is to know once you have a plan. And what I would suggest is making a plan. And as I began in my story that I shared earlier on, as I began working out, I knew very earlier on the goals that I had to really transform myself physically. I realized earlier on it was nutrition. I had to have a plan. So I had a systemized plan for every day of the week, what I was really eating And what you have to, and eating is not just, I'm not talking about binge eating, that is not recommended, but is what is nutritious, wholesome food that really nourishes your body. So once your body is nourished, your soul is nourished, so that you begin to feel good. And earlier on, as I mentioned, my gratitude journal. Why? Because gratitude, once you are grateful, you become whole. And that is the key mark, that you become whole, you are wholesome, that people love you, that you are lovable to yourself. You don't have to have approval from other people, your colleagues, your co-workers. As long as you begin to love you, self-love, self-care. So self-love and self-care is through nutrition. So nutritious, wholesome, dense food from greens. You need a lot of greens that will really kickstart your day. So it could be like green smoothies. It could be, if you love kale, spinach, steam them. And, so steaming is so much better than, fried. So green smoothies, that's amazing. If you love smoothies, make a routine that for breakfast, what is your routine? For lunch and dinner. So have a plan that you are going to stick to. And so this is what I would share with you. So earlier on in my day, as I began working out, I realized I had to stick to a plan. And so on Sundays, I would go grocery shopping for the week. And so, we're not going every single day, but make it a point that on a Sunday, you take that time and grocery shop for the week, so that you have your breakfast, lunch, and dinners covered.
I think rituals and routines are so important, and just little steps every day as well. I say, don't see a big mountain in front of you.
And it's the small steps. Yeah, it's the small steps that are really going to make the big difference. So most people don't realize that. They have to take those big steps, but no, you have to reverse engineer, take the small steps. That's going to be the long-lasting, sustainable results.
I agree. And can you share a little bit about the classes, the services that you offer at Alka's Total Fitness?
So as we're still in the lockdown, the studio is not going to open anytime soon for the in-class boutique experience. So online, we are going to be having Zumba, Pilates, restorative yoga, and TRX. So that is the classes that we have on the inside studio experience. But for the online classes, we're going to be having Zumba and Pilates. So it truly is quite an amazing workout. So depending on your goals, depending on what your goals are and what you are aligned with your goals. So for example, if you love dance, and dancing is an amazing form of workout, as Mark and I shared, that it truly makes you a really, a wholesome person. So if you love dance, I would highly recommend come and join us for a Zumba online experience.
And I have to agree. I mean, this year has showed us the power of online. Even myself, the other day, I got involved in an online meditation class. It was so enjoyable, Alka, and
wow, that's
really
nice.
helped me to switch off, and it really helped having someone to guide me into the meditation. And I just think online is definitely the way forward. And tell us a little bit what you're offering online, Alka.
So what we're offering online is we're starting in the next 2 weeks. We're going to restart our online classes. We're going to start with Zumba. We have a new class coming, Fit Body X. That is a total body workout that is truly going to revolutionize, how you would totally change your body. So it's going to work on your abs. We're going to use light weights that's really going to tone you. So toning and working on your abs is going to give the woman that really beautiful physique that you truly desire, right? So working on yourself is the most important thing, and valuing yourself, self-love, self-care is the most important that you really want to get out of yourself. So working on you, and then on the fitness level, taking care of your health and fitness is truly going to make you feel a wholesome person that you're going to enjoy so many other activities.
And I just think it's just shown us this last year the power of everyone working together as a community. The power of online fitness is something that we all need to work on, because this is what makes us live a better lifestyle. It makes us live for longer. It keeps us fit and healthy. And I know how passionate you are about it as well, Alka. And you're also a really successful author, and your book is From Cocoon to CEO, Living the Life of Your Dreams. Tell us all about this.
Definitely. So my book pretty much came from my story, my journey. And as I began to change my life around, I really wanted to share this, because my story is a journey that I had lived. It's the story that truly makes me the person who I am today, from every area, every level, every facet. That who I am grateful. As I mentioned earlier on, if I'm not grateful, if you are not grateful for your past, because your past dictates your future, and your future, and at the present moment, if you're not grateful for your present moment, your future is dictated upon that. So I wanted to share my story, because what I had gone through, the struggle, adversities that I had gone through was so much deeper, was so much that with the abandonment, with the trauma that I was facing, I didn't want anyone to go through that. So the book pretty much came about that I wanted to share my story. I wanted to share my experiences. I wanted to share my secrets to what I had faced, what I was facing, and what I am living today as a proof that if I can do it, anyone can do it. But you have to have the three main ingredients, and that is to have the hope, the courage, and the determination that no matter what, you are a survivor, that no matter what, you are going to make it in spite of everything, in spite of every obstacle that you are facing or faced, that you are going to get out, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
There's always light at the end of the tunnel, and I feel like that's a great message, especially in the current times with what we have all been through this last year. What was the process like in getting this book published and getting it out there for any budding authors out there?
Can I just share one thing, Mark? Is that when I talked about there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and I absolutely agree with you that there is always light at the end of the tunnel, and especially now with the present climate in the pandemic, is not to just get down on yourself, is to always be uplifted. And how you can feel uplifted is to do deep breaths, take the time out, just say 10 minutes out of your time to really take deep breaths, close your eyes, take deep breaths, and that will allow you to really open up. Emotionally, mentally, you're going to have the clarity, but also you are going to feel amazing. That once you feel amazing internally, then everything around you, you're going to see, you're going to feel more optimistic about the situation that you may be in right now, that things are going to feel so much better. So to answer your question, Mark, is that the process really to get the published it took me about a year and a half before the book was published. It was about a year that I was actually about 2 years that when I began to put the whole process pen to paper was about 2 years, and took about a year and a half before the book was published. But it's just been an instrumental journey. It's been a journey that I am so proud. It's a journey that I will never forget because, it's my first book, but I'm hoping that there's going to be more coming.
I am sure there's going to be plenty more, Alka. And what are you working on at the moment, and what is new for Alka?
So what is Alka working on? I have so many things going on. And as I mentioned that, you got to be grateful. You have to be grateful because, first of all, we are in the pandemic. We are in this pleasant climate that, I am never pessimistic. I'm always optimistic. The moment I wake up, I'm feeling good. Even at 5 o'clock, I wake up, I am feeling good. And I'm saying to myself, what am I doing next? What can I do? What am I doing? I don't feel tired. And for your viewers, if you wake up at 5, if you feel tired, if you feel, you lack the energy, I'm like a Duracell battery that I'm just ever ready. I'm just like, what am I doing? There's so much on the go. So I'm always being optimistic. I'm always like, grateful that allows more opportunities to come my way. Grateful to be on your show, Mark. To be grateful that you're collaborating with so many people, and that can only be possible when you are grateful, when you are aligned with who you are. And that's the most important thing, to be grateful for who you are, the person that you were chosen to really be the best version of who you are. So being grateful will allow so many opportunities to really present themselves.
I think gratitude, being grateful, it's so important, and you just feel so much better, and it's easy not to do it, but when you do it, it just makes such a big difference to how you feel, the way you show up in the world, the actions that you take. I'm a big advocate of being grateful and doing gratitudes.
Yes.
Now, I can imagine the last year as being difficult for the health industry, the fitness industry. What advice do you have for people out there to help see that light at the end of the tunnel, to make progress in the fitness and health industry? Because it's been a difficult one, hasn't it, Alka?
Definitely. And, we've been shut. Here in Canada, there's going to be a third lockdown, so we hear. So with that being said, being in this present climate, especially in the health and fitness industry, all the gyms are closed. And in Canada, we're going to be expecting a third lockdown, which I'm hoping is not going to happen. But we have to be prepared in all eventualities that happens. So Mark, what we did was to pivot. And if you're a small business owner of any kind, doesn't have to be in the fitness industry, but if you are one that, if you're not prepared of what's to come, and to be honest, nobody did. We didn't, envision that the pandemic was going to come. But now that we are faced in it, what are we going to do about it? So for us, what we had to do was to pivot, and that was to take ourselves online. and everything now is online. And Mark, I'm so grateful that the pandemic actually happened, because it allowed each and every one of us to communicate like this. We could see each other. And it allowed you, Mark, to do the meditation, but it allows us to really open and have a new direction. So for us, as the student is closed, we're not going to have the boutique style experience, but we can expect to be able to see one another, at least to see one another, and do the classes online. So online actually is a gap that is gonna bridge the gap from the internal inside boutique experience to the external online experience. So it's just, that's, you just have to, I think, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, is being creative, think outside the box. What is going to happen? What can we do that's going to prepare us for all eventualities that's going to happen? And which, we're in the pandemic. There's nothing that we can do, but is to think outside the box. Okay, well, online, taking the classes online.
I think it's an important skill to have in business, being able to pivot, change to new changing times. It's such an important thing to be able to do that, and for many out there, we were forced to do it. But I do think there's a lot of positives from this last year as well. Like you mentioned, the power of online, the power of collaboration, and I think that is here to stay. Alka, I have really enjoyed having a conversation with you today. Would you like to share a few closing words to inspire our audience to get fit and healthy through 2021?
Absolutely. I always say that your health is your number one priority. We must never take for granted. Our health can never come back. If we are focused on wealth, what good is wealth if we are compromising our health? And so I'm a huge advocate when it comes to health, is to making it a priority, and also to always be constant, to always be evolving, even as an entrepreneur, to evolving. Because if you're in this present climate, if you're not thriving, you are not surviving, and you have to survive. And the only way we can survive is to be online. At least we have the chance to see one another, our instructors, our members, and collaboration will come. Opportunities will come, as long as we are grateful for everything that we are having, every experience, everything that we have can truly come about, as long as we are open and receiving. That will happen. So those are my points. Those are my takeaways that I really want to share, Mark, with your audience, is to always be surviving, always be thriving, and to be grateful, to self-love, self-care, and to be the best version of who you are today.
What a great way to close the show. Alka, thank you for being my guest today. I really enjoyed having a conversation with you.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.